It's 4 o'clock. I'll call the meeting to order. Our first item is the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sarah, can you read our mission statement?
The mission of the Marshall Public School District is to educate, support, and prepare all learners for success.
Thank you. Our next item is approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Seconds?
Motion by Sarah Runcie and seconded by Sarah Brink to approve the agenda. Any corrections or additions? If not, I'll call for the vote.
What's going on here?
Huh? Back in. I think you have to log out and log back in.
Mine's not
Where?
working either.
Right here?
Like, click log out.
Why do I have to do that?
I think it timed out. Now just log back in.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have to do that too.
There you go.
Join the meeting again?
Yeah. There you go.
I'm in.
There. All right, the agenda is approved. Next item is a public forum. Anybody from the public want to approach the board? I don't see anyone, so we'll move on to our presentation, their strategic plan and our DEI plan. Welcome, Beth.
Beth's going to join us today. Our theme this year is One District, Many Voices, talking about how to meet the needs of all of our individual learners. So appreciate having Beth here today.
All right, super. Yeah, so like Jeremy mentioned, our theme for this school year coming up is One District, Many Voices. When we were talking last spring about what should our theme be for the next school year, we landed on this one because it's like this. We felt this really described us at Marshall Public Schools. We're one district, but there are so many voices that are within our schools that play into it, and a lot of it is with our diversity and how we look at diversity in numerous ways, not just one way. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this afternoon. So I wanted just to get started with our commitment to equity. We came up with our commitment to equity along with our 10 commitments, which I'll show next. It's been a few years now. I don't remember how many years ago. But anyways, I'll give you a second just to take a look at that and then talk about it. So I'll give you a minute just to refresh your memory. So really the biggest point, I would say, is really at the bottom, how equity is different from equality, and really eliminating those barriers, just like it says in there, eliminating them to make sure that our kids have all of the resources and everything they need to be successful in the school, no matter their background, what language they speak, what their home environment, no matter what it is, making sure they have equitable access to all of their learning, no matter what. So with that, like I said, our 10 commitments to equity. This is also what MDE, or the Minnesota Department of Education, uses. And if you attend any meeting put on by MDE, they always go over their 10 commitments to equity, and then they'll highlight the specific one, or it's either one or a couple of them that they're going to focus on during that meeting. We also look at this throughout the year, ensuring that we are touching on these, and I can confidently say we touch on all of them several times throughout the school year, depending what we're doing. For example, if it's specific to early childhood, of course, it would be the Start Early commitment, or I don't know, any of them. So, or monitor equitable implementation of the standards, thinking of what curriculum, what resources we are using with our students to ensure, again, they have everything that they need to be successful in school. So along with that, like I just mentioned, there is a big difference between equality and equity. And I think this graphic really shows it well, what really the difference is. So equality, as you can see, is treating every person the same. And you provide equal resources and opportunities depending on their individual needs. So you can see in the picture there, they all have the same height stool there, or step stool. And you can see It's not really working well for all of them. Even though they're being treated equally, they're not being treated equitably. And the second picture really shows if you treat them equitably, you are considering their individual circumstances. So the youngest one, the little guy, he might need a couple step stools to make sure that he is successful and can watch the baseball game. Or we think of our students, they might need a little bit more help in a specific area. Provide them with those resources and the things they need to be successful in school. And also allocating our resources. We do a good job and we're very specific as to how we allocate those resources, the teachers that we use, and the services that we provide for our students. So really thinking about that difference, that we really want to make sure we're being equitable and not always equal per se. So thinking about diversity in our schools, when you think of diversity, there are a number of ways you can measure diversity. If you ask people, I think a common response would be, is there race or ethnicity? That's one way. Some people might think that's the only way you can measure it. It's not by any means. So you can see we are a very diverse school based on the ethnicity of our students. So this was pulled from the last school year. So you can, like I said, you can see we are racially diverse, but there are other ways. So such as what I often talk about our English learners or our multilingual learners. That is another way, of course, to measure diversity in our school. Our students who receive special education services, our students who are on free reduced priced meals, as well as our homeless students as well. So there are many ways, and what are we going to do as a district to make sure we are providing equitable access to the resources needed depending on whatever the diversity is. And also, of course, languages spoken. That's another common one that people think about with diversity. Last year, I just looked at my report from last year. It was 29, or 2 years ago, 29 languages. Last year, it was 31 languages spoken. So it's increasing, it's exciting, but again, it's another way to show our diversity. So like I mentioned, there are many ways, and there are more ways than just this to show our diversity in the schools.
Can one person be counted as several on the right side?
Good question, yes, yep. So if we have students that we call are dually identified, they could be identified as a multilingual learner as well as receiving special ed services. So yeah, they could fall in different categories. Yep, good question. So with that, I believe you've seen our district vision card. We've worked on this for a couple of years. I would say finally last year we were able to put it into practice to look at our different results to see how we did in each of the areas. And then you can see we ranked ourselves based on how we fell in each of those areas. So the first one was achievement. We used our NWEA data in both reading and math. And then as a district, so of course we can look at it by building, which we do, but then we put it all together by district. And you can see that we fell within the basic level last school year. The high quality implementation of MTSS, which is a lot of work we do as well. You can see we're in the distinguished. Of course, our goal is to be in either the proficient or distinguished in each one of the categories. And we know that we have some work to do in other areas. So the family DDE is desired daily experience. When we came up with our strategic plan several years ago, our families came up with what they would like to see in the schools. What is their daily desired experience for their child or children that are in Marshall Public Schools? From there, last year, then we created a survey from that daily desire or desired daily experience. And then the parents were able to rank us based on what they said, or I mean, what they had chosen for that daily desired experience. So you can see that there are two, we've scored in the proficient and in the distinguished. So the reason for that is last year we gave them a neutral response. And then as we talked about it, do you count neutral as a positive thing or do you count neutral as a negative response? So you can see, depending if we counted it as a positive response, you can see we fell in the distinguished, or if we counted it as more a negative response. Next year or this coming school year, when we give it at the end of the year, we're going to take out that neutral response. So then we really will be able to tell, are they happy or not happy, basically. And same thing with the student and staff. Again, we had that neutral response in there. So we will take that out for next year as well. And it was the same thing. The student daily desired, is it desired? I must say DDE. The DDE for the student as well as the staff. We created those surveys based on what we had come up with a couple of years ago with our strategic plan.
Do all families get that survey? Or is it?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Email?
I'm sorry, what?
Probably through email, right?
Yes, we sent it on email. We did. Yep. And then you can see the implementation of District 3-year operational plan, as well as our student activity involvement. That one was new. We hadn't, I don't believe, ever measured what percentage of our students at high school are in activities. And these are just, some students are in 5 activities, but that didn't count for 5. It was just 1. So if a student is in more than 1, they still only count for 1, not for 5. So with all of this information that we have in our vision card, it really is driving our work for this upcoming school year. We can really have a focus on what we're going to do, especially for those, we want to, if, the areas where we are in the basic, what can we do as a district to move up to the proficient? Thankfully, none of them were in high concern. So with that being said, again, that's where our one district, many voices, because if you think about that, many voices played into our vision card and helped us to come up with our theme for this year. So our back to school workshop week, which is coming up very quickly at the end of the month. We are excited. We always have one day dedicated to district-wide things. The other days of the week are building level driven. This year, our keynote speaker or presentation is going to be from the Pillsbury House Theater. They're out of Minneapolis, and it's their Breaking Ice presentation. I don't know if anyone attended the It Begins With Us, which used to be Cultures on the Prairie. Last year, they were the keynote there, so now we're able to bring them to us, so it's pretty exciting. I actually have met with them several times. They will come, their presentation is unique to wherever they go. So they've interviewed us, different groups of teachers, different groups of people, because they are customize it to things that are things going on in Marshall Public Schools and thinking about really DEI work within that. They even, one of their representatives met with our parent-student connectors to learn more about that side of things. We had people from our staff development committee meet with them. I've met with them. So they will send me a exam or what it might look like, a rough draft. So I'm excited to see that. And then they will present it to our entire staff on Wednesday of that week. And then it also includes some breakout sessions as well. They will lead breakout sessions as part of theirs. After that, for the afternoon then, our entire staff will have the opportunity to travel to different presentations for the afternoon, and we're excited to have it here at the middle school to show off our middle school theater. So we're changing locations this year, but we're excited about that. All of our staff members, certified and non-certified, will go to these different breakout sessions. One of them is a multilingual learner student panel. Our EL team at the high school has pulled together some of our students, and they usually do this in February during our staff breakout sessions. And so many people here, we wanted to go, but the room was full. It always is packed in there. It's very, very powerful to hear from our own kids and what their experience was like coming to the United States as well as being a student at Marshall Public Schools. So we decided that every staff member will be able to go because we'll bring them here this fall. So everybody will be able to hear and learn from our own students here at the high school. Don't press your luck. Christy Hastings will be presenting to us on some different hot topics in education in a game show style. Community Partners panel. We have many different community partners that we partner with the district that are going to come and present and share with our staff what resources are available to our students, what resources are available to their families, and what can they do to continue being a partner and in helping to ensure, again, the needs of our kids are being met. And then members from our APAC committee are going to come and give us some valuable information on American Indian presentation. So that will be, that, we're super excited about that. Having the breakout sessions, we've done that the past few years. We've only had our certified staff attend, but this year we are having all staff attend, which is exciting as well. So then that's just workshop week. And then thinking about the entire school year, we will have, of course, ongoing professional development all around DEI and equity work. The READ Act training, which we've probably heard a lot about, that will be starting workshop week for all of our Phase 1 teachers, which the majority, it's all of our elementary education teachers and K-12 special education teachers will go through that. So it's reading training. MTS alignment to BAR. BAR, of course, is starting now at Southview Middle School and the high school, so there will be a lot of work for those 3 buildings to work together to continue to roll that out. Of course, chemical use and mental health is also important to make sure our staff has the knowledge and is equipped with things that they need with that. The expansion of CTE classes, looking, of course, at always expanding our classes, not only at the Career and Technical Institute, but also at the high school. We are planning on doing a poverty simulation with our entire staff in February during our PD sessions during our PD day of February 14th, where they will participate in the simulation. It'll be very powerful. We had hoped to do it during workshop week, but there's just not enough time. So we'll save it and do it in February, and everyone will have the opportunity to go through that. And then, of course, effective PLCs. We spent a lot of work and a lot of time last year revisiting our PLCs and making sure that they are aligned to our strategic plan and continuing to move forward. So we will continue that work as well. So there's a lot going on. We'll talk more about this. I believe I'm back in about a month, and we'll dig into this even more. I think that's it. So any questions?
Well done, Beth.
Busy time of year.
It's a very busy time of year. It's exciting, but it's busy. It's good work. Thank you, guys.
Our next item is the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Jeff and second by Bill to approve the consent agenda. I will call for the vote.
Mine is not coming in.
You guys may have to log in, log back, log out and log in. That's what I had to do.
Weird.
There we go. And the consent agenda is approved. Next item, any board reports or updates? I know being on the Southwest West Central Silvers Co-op board, just to update everything out at the college is running on time, and we'll be moving in there soon, and
Monday.
everything looks really good, so. for
What
both.
is their deadline for their new office space? Out by the,
Oh, it'll be open in the fall of 25,
this coming
August.
fall, next fall?
next fall, a year from now.
That'll be great for them.
Yeah,
Nice space.
yep, it'll be nice. Anything else? Next item is our board action approval of Superintendent Williams' 24-25 performance goals.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Bill and seconded by Sarah Runcie to approve these goals. Any further discussion?
Just share that I've run these by the exec committee. Plan on working on CTE programming again this year. Beth mentioned that's a area that we're focusing on. Looking at expanding some programming there and just kind of completing some of the work that's been going on there over the last few years. And of course, the READ Act implementation being a big piece that we'll continue to work on this year.
Thanks, Jeremy. I'll call for the vote. And that is approved. Next action item is approval of the amended 24-25 school lunch prices.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion by Sarah Brink and seconded by Sarah Runcie to approve the amended school lunch prices. Any further discussion?
Is this what the state's going to reimburse us?
This is the price we need to charge the adult lunches.
Okay.
So it matches what the cost would be for those lunches. So at our meeting last month, when we set the numbers, we hadn't had the new numbers from the state yet. So we just set the previous price holding, and then it was like the next day we got this. So, yeah.
So student breakfast and student lunches are still paid by the state?
Students still get one free breakfast and one free lunch. Yep, that's still
How
covered.
long was that?
That's in law, so that's just ongoing.
That's permanent
Ongoing
That's
every year?
permanent, yep,
unless they take.
unless they change it, right? Right, but adults still pay for their lunches, so.
Any
Thank
further discussion? All called for the vote. That is approved. Next action item is resolution to call the school district general election.
So moved.
Seconds.
Motion by Jeff and seconded by Sarah Brink to approve the resolution to call the school district general election. Any further discussion?
Sure, we have 3 open board seats this year. So the filing period is open now, so candidates that are interested can stop in the district office and apply for those, and then the election takes place with the general election this fall.
What day does the registration close to register?
13th.
August
13th.
13th?
Yep,
August 13th.
yep, next week.
It's important for people to know
Yep.
if you're interested to do it by August 13th.
13th.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. And that is approved. And the meeting is adjourned to our work session. Thanks, everyone.